The art of concrete is made possible by Lafarge. Lafarge, building better cities.
Modernist architects of the 20s and 30s developed a style of architecture which was very much about creating a framework around which a structure is enclosed. This style is still very relevant and, thanks to concrete construction methods, offers unlimited possibilities. This home in Melrose, Johannesburg is heavily influenced by the modernist style of architecture and the use of strong lines.
The structure is very legible. You've got the columns and the slabs create this sort of big box, the idea of this floating box with these very big openings that concrete allows for. And we have what we call ribbon windows. So the windows are these very long horizontal windows as opposed to what we normally see, the generic small vertical windows. And that gives you a much more panoramic view out. And so the house has this very sort of modern feel. It flows in and out and it engages with the landscape in that way. And what I really like about the concrete is that it has this natural look. It's got this sort of like patina, it ages and it's got a kind of a visual texture to it that helps it to blend in with its surroundings. You can see how well the house fits in this garden and how it forms the perfect backdrop to the trees and the grass that are around it, even though the lines are obviously very straight and clean and man-made.
Exposed concrete is a trademark of Greg's designs. He believes in architectural honesty, and by keeping concrete exposed, the structural elements become focal points and features of the design.
I prefer to use concrete everywhere where we need it to hold the house up as a structural element and not cover it up. So what you see here, all the concrete that you see here is essential. So, you know, there's only concrete where we need it, and everywhere where it's infill, that's brickwork that's been rhino-lighted and painted white. So you do get that beautiful contrast between the sort of roughness of the concrete and the sleekness of the other finishes.
In addition to the structural elements in this home, Greg has used concrete to create pieces of furniture. This adds visual interest as well as continuity throughout the space.
What we did here, for example, is we made a concrete countertop for the kitchen, and it's really thick, you know, it's like 100mm thick countertop, which is quite unusual and striking. And then we've got like a bench in front of the fireplace, which also becomes a kind of a radiant element because it absorbs the heat from the fireplace and gives it off long after the fire's died down.
Greg has kept as much concrete exposed as possible, including all of the flooring and ceilings. This creates a unified look in the design and adds not only a visual warmth, but also maintains the temperature through radiant heat.
Another very interesting aspect of concrete design is its high thermal mass. So it absorbs heat from the sun naturally, and it can warm a space in a very passive way. So, you know, like when I'm sure you remember lying on the slasto, you know, around your pool or on the tiles, and how warm that felt because it's just absorbed. It's sat in the sun all day and it absorbs the heat and it holds onto the heat. So in the same way, a concrete floor will hold onto heat and then distribute that heat during the cold hours of night. And it's perfect for our climate in the Highveld because you have the sun during the winter. And what we've done here is we've calibrated the overhang so that during the summer when the sun is higher, the overhang blocks the sun from the glass, so the sun doesn't actually penetrate the interior and keeps the interior cool. But in the winter when the sun is slightly lower, it comes through these high panes of glass and warms the floor, and then the house is warm during the night.
Apart from the heating and cooling characteristics, concrete is also quite a sustainable building material.
Most professionals agree today that concrete is actually a very ecologically sensible material to use because of its longevity, because you can build this very strong shell, and this house could one day be anything. You know, it could be offices or it could be a creche. It's very easy to subdivide the interior. It has a very sort of flexible framework, and the exterior and interior can be reconfigured at will in the future.
The combination of modernist design principles and warm, neutral tones creates a simple yet cozy environment in this home. It's a warm, natural space which will grow with the family and settle comfortably into its surroundings.
The art of concrete was made possible by Lafarge. Lafarge, building better cities.